let's take a look at whole group reading instruction. For our littlest learners, that reading instruction will start in Read Aloud in Big Books, with all of your texts in kindergarten coming in this format. First and second grade, you'll have a series of read aloud books as well. And all of those texts will come with what we call our book stick, an actual sticker that you can place on that back cover of your read aloud book and have all of those great questions right there in your back pocket when you need them the most, including some suggestions about what each book will provide our students and what they'll love about it. Now, for our older students, starting at first grade, we'll take all of those great texts that we'll be reading as part of our multi-genre units, and we'll place them into one student consumable book called the Student My Book. And if you liked that idea about having a post-it on the back of your book, you're going to love what you see in your companion piece called the Teaching Pal, where we take that student book and layer in all of your supportive instruction right there in the margin. So it looks like we're all reading from the same book, but I've got some support embedded right into mine, including some, early strategies around comprehension, even social emotional learning strategies built in, purple Post-its that will help me target those closer places that I want to dig in a little bit more deeply, yellow Post-it notes that will help me understand how I can set up this classroom instruction, and probably one of our favorites, the red Post-its around Notice and Note. This Notice and Note close reading strategy helps our students dig in a little bit deeper by using some of those things that you and I look for in every text and explicitly teaching our students to look for them. Based on the research of Drs. Kylene Beers and Robert Probst, they started looking for commonalities of ways you and I pick up on things in the text and started teaching those things specifically to our students to look for them. Now, if Notice and Note is new to you, don't worry, you'll have everything you need in your teacher's guide to support your students and yourself in learning these easy signposts that stay consistent from grade level to grade level. Let's take a look at what this instructional pathway looks like from that teacher's guide. I'm now in a third grade teacher's guide, and you'll see that step 1 is going to start off with having me utilize an anchor chart. And this anchor chart is embedded right here in my teacher's guide so that I can open it up to display to students, print it, and have a copy for each one, or just use it as the one that I'm going to create in the moment with my students. From there, I'll be going into step 2, where it'll tell me exactly what Post-its I want to be using when I'm reading through that text with my students, and that I'll probably want to use Notice and Note here as well. And from my materials list here on the left-hand side, I can open up my book and see that it is a digital page-per-page representation of what my students would be seeing in print. Online, they have full text audio embedded. Students and teachers can come in and highlight and leave notes, and any work that my students do in that interactive student guide, I can utilize my T-Review button to see right there in the moment. Other things to notice about this online teacher's guide is that it is, again, a page-per-page representation of what you would have in print, and just one way that we can show you the support that we layer in for all learners, but specifically around that English language learner support as well. We know that it's critical to meet all student needs, but we do want you to know that our ELL support is consistent throughout all of our instructional pieces. Whether it's giving you that text x-ray to know what you're reading before you head into the text, specific suggestions for students to do during reading, and even home letters in English and in Spanish so that I can provide that school-to-home connection. Literally every page you see in your teacher's guide will have some form of instructional support for our English language learners.